Well, hello, and welcome to the first day of April and your energy forecast for the week, April 1st to 7th. I am so excited to be alive and with you on this planet, and with so many amazing invitations to invite you into to really keep you grounded. I think the energy forecast for this week is very deeply grounded into trust, into grounding yourself, into asking for the support that you may feel like you need right now. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a medical intuitive. My name is Sarah Jane, and I'm a modern shaman as well. And I know a lot of you wrote in last week and over the course of March to say that, yes, it's been crazy. March was really supercharged. There was a lot of releasing that we were all doing on our own personal level and also in the collective. And that many of you are reporting that you're feeling like you're energetically overwhelmed. That you're kind of feeling like you're being forced back to coping and moving back into that freeze state where your nervous system just wants to shut you down. Nice to see you, Robin and Sherry and Kim. Great to see you all here. So the main theme this week really is around grounding yourself, and how you can do that is to take time out to rest, to ask for support. I think so many of us, because of the bad training of this reality, feel like we can't ask, that somehow that is a sign of weakness, whereas we know that in order for us to actually see our blind spots, to be able to go into the shadows, sometimes we need to ask and receive support so that we don't stop ourselves. So be okay with that, and really look at what is it that you need right now to really get yourself through this period, by leaning into your asking and to ask for help. And the horses just gave us a lovely whinny in in affirming that. So if you've noticed that now that one of the things that I've certainly been feeling into on an intuitive level is this collective heaviness. There's this space where we're almost feeling like we're entering into a new low of what I call the great separation sickness, where there's inertia happening, or detachment, or people around you are numbing out, or maybe you're feeling like you're ambivalent to not really caring about anything, or not feeling like you have the energy to engage in perhaps conversations of connection, because it's just too much for you, and so maybe you're switching off. So just know that this is part of the collective consciousness. We always have to go through low points when there's just been this expansive burst of light and new sort of frequencies in the quantum field that are asking us to wake up and to really deepen into trusting that we are part of raising up the collective consciousness. And remember too that you can't create alone in a vacuum, and you also can't see your blind spots. You can't see the truth of what's really going on if you are in the blind spots. That's why they're called blind spots. So ask for support, and know too that you may have exactly the right medicine that someone else might be needing right now to be able to move their anger or their fear, and to be that gentle space holder of love, so that they get to upgrade and evolve alongside all of us, because we're all in this together. And I think this fits really well into my body of work, which is that you have to be willing to heal at the level of your nervous system. And if you're in a fight or flight or freeze state because of some trauma that hasn't been resolved for you, that is the time to really ask for support, and to really be able to review some of these old stories that are being spoken into being, not just on the individual level, but also in the collective conscious morphic field that we're all connected to, where fear is playing a very big part in how people are projecting a lot of their unresolved issues and creating more hurt. I don't know if you caught my Facebook Live with Susan Schatzer earlier, but this is really leaning into the collective theme of what's been going on in not only my life but in my client's life, and why I'm speaking to it in a much louder voice than before. I'll be speaking with Susan on unlocking your limited life, about what the animals in nature have taught me about being open, staying in a state of vulnerability, and how you can really start to engage in reconnecting not only with your heart's desires and your truth, but how you can support others in connecting into standing in their truth and being the lighthouse that they are. And I am also appearing on Cara Gubbins, my dear friend and fellow animal communicators summit this week. She's got an incredible lineup of guests, including our own homeborn Winter Warthorn, who is speaking on behalf of the lions. And I'll be in there too, speaking again to my proprietary 5 steps to resolving trauma and returning to trust in my trust process, which the animals are so generously holding space for all of us to do. And of course, I'm speaking with Christine Williams tonight on the Greatest You Summit. So if you haven't had enough of me already, I invite you to come into some of these beautiful containers and just to explore that together we're growing each other up. And we need to do that from a very aligned, very trusting place of connection within ourselves in order to do that, to really tap into the soul of life as a human being on the planet right now, and to be able to ride the waves of these new growing pains that we're all a part of changing, these conscious shifts. So just know that just like any time in history that's been before you, there are always these destabilizing forces at play that are wanting you to go back to sleep, and where we're really being invited to be the bridge, right, in the present moment of where the past, your past, connects with your future. So great time to go into futuring and to do the shadow work, because it's really important that we work on the past. We bring light to those dark places, to those blind spots, lovingly, patiently, as only the animals and the horses mirror back all the time to us, that generosity of spirit to stay in the discomfort a little longer than you may have done before, so that you can work on the future. And on that note, it was just, I just love the synchronicity of how in that law of reciprocity, in the law of abundance, which is our natural state, how the animals show up. And as I was shuffling the deck for this week's energy forecast, I was watching a little resident squirrel that lives in the garden here, who constantly amuses my sister's golden doodles, and how busy he always is in these sort of short bursts of collecting his acorns and really trusting that the bounty will always be there for him, that there will always be something there to keep him alive and vital. And of course, what happened, the first card that came up for us today was this beautiful squirrel medicine. I don't know if the light's not very good where I am sitting today, but hopefully you can see that. But again, squirrel medicine, just take a breath into squirrel, because squirrel is saying, believe in yourself, trust that you're enough. Trust that you are a self-generating resource, right? And if you're feeling like you're low on resources right now, get more resourceful. Be like a squirrel. A lot of times what we're looking for is right under our noses, and we don't see it because we're always looking outside of ourselves, and outside of what we know and what we can trust is going to create safety and connection for us. So trust that you're enough. And ask yourself again, what do you need in this moment to truly feel safe and connected in your support, in your resources, right? Other people are resources for you. So Squirrel's message is very plain and very to the point today, of saying, believe in yourself, trust in your divine nature, trust in your body's innate ability to show you, to take you to water, to take you to food, to take you to shelter, so that you're grounded into that energy of abundance that is available for all of us. And then you get to come up on that lower rung of Maslow's theory. You move up to that conscious creation, and where again, I just love how the animals are so supportive of us, and how owl is one of my my totems, that one of my main spirit guides. And I love the medicine of owl, because owl is able to turn his head 360 degrees. He's always able to see what is right under his nose, and he's also able to see very far into the future, because he's engaging all of his 5 natural and subtle senses. So look at what you haven't been able to see clearly. Look at what you're avoiding, and know that your wisdom is informed by your keen sense of knowing everything that you've trained in the training days of what I call the big experiment called being human, and getting your experience out there in the field of life, to really go deep again and look at the gifts of what your challenges have shown you, how you have grown, because you're tapping into also the collective consciousness of coming to your senses. So really, again, owl is saying, trust in the wisdom of your medicine, trust in everything that you have gone through, all the challenges, all the places where you have overcome, through resilience, through perseverance, through trust and faith and grace, and engage in your spidey senses, right? That sixth sense of intuition, of feeling those spidey senses, and speaking into the truth, into the wisdom of what you know to be true, that perhaps other people may be looking for, and that only you have what they're looking for, to shift and change whatever challenge they're going through. Koi spirit is a beautiful one. So in the direction of south, where we're really moving into bringing the vision of the air, right? Bringing what we're seeing in the future from owl medicine, knowing that we have the fuel, the abundance of resources to keep us vital and energized and focused on where we're going in the future. Koi fish is amazing, because if you think about them, if you've ever seen them in a pond, they always grow to the size that the pond is. And they're always saying that there is enough abundance. So if you think that your pond is getting too small and you need to expand and jump into a bigger pool, koi fish again is saying to you, there's always enough. Trust that there's always going to be enough to see you through the dry spells, because as creatives, and the natural flow of the 5-element feeding cycle of Chinese medicine, which I love to teach in the work because it is such an accurate mirror of what we're creating in our internal climate, in our bodies, in our lives, in our being, and what we're seeing showing up in the external environment, and engaging in that. So when you know that you are always enough, and you are in that abundant state, right? The beautiful state, not the suffering state. Koi fish reminds you to move toward the food, to move toward the light, to know that your pond is exactly the right size for what you have. You have so much to offer and so much to express from your place of truth. So trust the outer conditions of your pond that you may be swimming in, or if you feel like you're a fish out of water, look at, can you teach a fish to climb a tree? If all it's ever known is the environment of the water, how do you need to engage in your spidey senses to really fully be living in your sixth sense? Because all the 5 other senses, your natural sense of sight and touch and taste and hearing, is so activated that your body is always moving you toward what it is that you're asking for and what you're needing, to really fuel your vision and your mission and purpose in that direction of self. And to know that whatever you're seeing, whether that is anger, whether that is frustration, in this period of overwhelm, in this period where we're really looking for a new state of how to create safety so that we can have peace and calm, do the training so that you can ride the waves of these new growing pains and start to ground in while the collective consciousness is shifting in these destabilizing patterns, where your future coincides with your past, and get intentional in how you're going to create your future from there. This is why it's so important to do the trauma work, to resolve any of those old stories and literally unfreeze your nervous system so that you can trust, as Koala Bear, who showed up in the direction of the West, right? This is the rite of passage. Oopsie, wrong card. The rite of passage of Koala Bear. Again, Koala is saying, trust in divine guidance. Trust that you are divinely being led because you are living from this high vibrational that was interesting, frequency of abundance. You're trusting that the universe will provide whatever it is that you're needing and asking for right now, in the energetic support, in your team players, your spirit guides, in your social engagement and connection with others that may be part of your physical team. Really, really important to trust that there's a time and a place and a pace for everything. So as I said, this is the week to really ground into the vision of what you want to bring into your life from this beautiful high vibrational frequency of trusting that all your needs are already met, and that you're taking aligned action. You're doing the daily training to remember that life is about living. It's about breathing in and appreciating and celebrating what you have already created and where you're going, who you're becoming. That life is not a race or a competition. That sometimes we need to push pause on the world and restock, right? We need to review, and there my horse is affirming that again. We need to take time to review. What has the last 3 months brought in for you? What needs attention? What needs to be loved into being in order for you to grow your child parts up? So I know I've gone a little long today. Nice to see you, Lena and Joe. But what a beautiful flow of energy from the animals as messengers today, with Squirrel showing up and telling you that, you know, all the work, all the training that you've put in to gather your harvest, to feather your nest, to make sure that all your basic needs of safety are met, so that you can step into that creation of using the wisdom of where you've been, that owl medicine, to engage from a subtle level. This is where the sentients have shown me over and over again that it's in the nonverbal communication, right? It's in using your spidey senses, trusting your intuition, trusting your gut, that you have everything that you need in order to create a brilliant, beautiful future. So right now you're really, really being asked to trust that by moving at the pace of your body, maybe you need to move into a slow time right now. You need to gear down and take stock of everything that you have accomplished, everything that you have done in the first 3 months of the year, and to slow down a little bit. With faith in the abundance, right? In the law of abundance, that it is reciprocity that is going to get you there. So giving generously of your time, being able to set good boundaries, to say thank you, not right now. If you're in a stage of needing to review and rest and digest, so that you can come back out into the world clearly focused on your vision, and also surrendering to the power greater than yourself. When you do that, you'll be able to experience the manifestations of every desire that you have. So as you take time this week, enjoy the riches available to you right now. Actively appreciate what is coming your way, that is aligned with your highest, greatest calling, and know that what you appreciate always appreciates. So Be peaceful and calm by being grounded into what you're here to share and give with the world, because Spirit is here to help you to really discover what happiness means for you. So often when I speak to my clients, they don't know when they were last deeply happy. And as I said, that's what I will be speaking to tonight with Christine on the Greatest You Summit, of, you know, what it takes to really be connected in with your body, knowing that you're connected to this beautiful web of life that has no weavers, because we are all weaving this in through faith and trust that Spirit's plan is available and ready for you. If you would only just trust that you're loved, you're cherished, and you're supported. So great time this week to really just take stock, to gather all your nuts, to be busy in just the correct dose that is needed for you right now. And really, really stay connected to the presence and the truth of the wisdom that you're bringing in to the collective consciousness right now as things continue to be shaken awake. Use that Chiron energy, do the shadow work. And if you're not sure where to start, and you're feeling called that this resonates with you, please you reach out to me. I'd be honored to support you in showing you your light, your wisdom, and what you're here to share with the world as only you can. And please join me on the myriad of incredible containers that my fellow game changers, my fellow lighthouses are lovingly tending to in bringing you information that perhaps you just need reminding of, or just a place where you can be supported and heard and acknowledged and loved, into staying connected, staying grounded in that general theme of 2019 of the Earth Pig, that's saying root out what makes you feel alive. Celebrate and share the pleasures of what you've found in the truffles, or the bounty that's maybe lying right under your nose right now, and you haven't been able to see it because instead of being adaptable and swimming in this beautiful pond like koi fish, that you've been looking for a bigger pond rather than actively appreciating that you are exactly where you need to be right now. So I hope that this is helpful in really setting your focus with clarity and congruence and focused intention in what you're going to create, what you're going to dream into being as your future reality that is deeply rooted in abundance and connection and safety, because together we're growing each other up, and we're being compassionate and very loving and patient with the parts of us that may still be in that collective unconscious pattern of fear and lack and scarcity. And I'll meet you there. So if you know anybody that might want to benefit or need to hear my little love note with the animals as messengers this week, please like this video and share it far and wide, and trust that you're loved, trust that you're enough. I see you, I honor you, and I send you love for an incredible April of alignment and action and being available. You know, I think that's another way that we can really start to appreciate our gifts, is to be available for others. Ask questions, reach out and touch somebody, and follow that wise wisdom of Owl that's saying everything that you have learned, everything that you have gone through up into this place is transforming you into becoming even more of the beautiful, divine, true natured, heart-centered being that you are. All right, take care. Lots of love. Bye.